Okay, so this is a video entry for Toddy Walnuts 4,000 subscriber contest giveaway. Um, he just hit 4,000 subscribers, and that's awesome. So congrats, sir. He's been a YouTuber that's been around for like 5 years, and I've been watching his videos all along. So again, congrats. He's an awesome guy. All right, so he wanted us to do 6 questions and give our answers, and I'm just going to show all of my answers in form of like Blu-ray or DVD or VHS or something, just so you're not listening to my boring voice the whole time, and give you something to look at. And quality's not going to be that outstanding either. I'm just going to be honest. I've never done one of these before, so just bear with me. All right, so the first question is, what are some of the movies, series, shows, YouTubers that helped me get through the quarantine? And I watched a lot of Walnuts' videos. I love his collection videos, and I've seen some of the other YouTubers' collection videos. I've always liked those. But I guess for like TV shows or series, I finally got around to watching this show. And it's one that I've had for a while now, Twin Peaks. And I wasn't sure whether I'd like it or not, if it was going to be too soap opera-ish or just too weird. But when I watched it, I actually loved it. It was like X-Files meets Northern Exposure type of thing. And there are times where maybe there was just some unnecessary weirdness from David Lynch. You know, he's the one that created this, and that didn't derail the series at all. I thought it was pretty awesome. I was pretty much absorbed into the show after watching a couple episodes, and yeah, that was a lot of time. I think this was like 29 episodes, like an hour long. This was 18 episodes, like an hour long. So yeah, that was a long haul, but glad I finally got through it. It was an awesome show. I did not like the movie though, Fire Come Walk with Me. That movie was just weird for the sake of being weird and pretty much incoherent, and I was not a fan of that movie. All right, next, what are some of the upcoming releases that I am most excited about? I'd say this one for sure, and everybody's going to have this answer, but the Friday the 13th box set that Scream Factory's doing, I think it comes out on October 13th. I'm really looking forward to that. Nobody has to go and try to buy one of those tin collection sets on eBay for $400 like they were listed. Now we can get the deluxe set from a company that knows how to do it, like Scream Factory. So I'm really looking forward to seeing the cut scenes from Friday the 13th Part 2, even though maybe it's not going to be in the best condition, like VHS source. But I'm looking forward to seeing that. And they did get an interview from Steve Miner, too, the guy that was involved in 1 and directed 2 and directed Part 3. So I don't know why he never talked about the series all this time, but he finally is going to. So I can't wait to see that interview. So definitely excited about that one. And the next one I'm excited about seeing is the Blu-ray of Buried Alive. Kino Lorber is going to put this out. I think it's going to be released on November 3rd, last I saw. And they didn't put out any detailed update on what the extras are going to be, if they're even going to have any. I hope they get some of the people who are involved, like Tim Matheson. I know he does conventions and stuff, and he talks about this movie. And this is Frank Daramont's first movie, so I think he's pretty proud of it. Maybe he would talk about it. So I hope they get special features. But anyway, this is like a Region 2 DVD and a UK release. So it'll be nice to finally have this on a Region A Blu-ray, because before this, I mean, in the US, you just had to have the VHS tape. I think that's all we had here. We didn't have DVD of it. We definitely didn't have a Blu-ray of it until November. So looking forward to that. All right, so what are 5 of my favorite artwork covers on VHS, Blu-ray, or DVD? All right, so this won't be a surprise. I absolutely love Friday the 13th, and I think that Part 1 cover art is just awesome. It tells the whole story about what the movie's going to be. It's dark, it's scary looking, in the woods, and you can see you've got your 5 or 6 players there who are going to get slaughtered, the camp counselors, and I just think that vintage artwork is awesome. This is the steelbook from the 40th anniversary limited edition release that Paramount did. I was kind of surprised they did that with the lawsuit going on and with the box set coming out that I guess we didn't know about at the time, but I'm glad they put this out. It's a pretty cool looking steelbook. All right, and the next one that I think is pretty cool, I love this cover, I always have, Fright Night. I mean, it's so simple, and you got Amy's kind of like vampire face up in the clouds, and you got Charlie looking out of the window in his mom's house. It's just awesome, awesome cover art. Very simple. I remember the VHSs using that cover art and seeing that video store. I don't know how many times I rented this. Absolutely love that movie too. And another one that I love is Day of the Dead. I remember seeing that in video stores so often and rented it a bunch of times. I'm surprised they let me rent when I was that young, and all these are R-rated movies, but I love these horror movies, and it's such a simple cover. I mean, zombie face, Day of the Dead. That's all you need to know. And this is a German release from XT Video, and luckily they still kept the English descriptors on the cover. You know, first there was Night of the Living Dead, and Dawn of the Dead, and now Day of the Dead, and Darkest Day of Horror the world's ever known. I remember that being on the VHS case. And one of the cool things about some of these hard boxes from overseas, from Germany, there's some extras in here. Like this had an autograph from the main star, Laurie Cardew, who was Sarah, and then Joe Pilato, who's Captain Rhodes. He's not even with us anymore. But yeah, this was just tucked in here. So if you're not opening up your hard boxes, you might want to check them out, because cool stuff like that might be in there. Right, another one that I really love is Shutter Island. I think that cover, this is a UK steelbook, and I think that cover is just so cool. I love this movie. Awesome, dark, eerie, period type of movie on this prison island. And I just think it's a really cool movie. I'm not a big Leonardo DiCaprio fan, but I thought this was a very well done movie, and I love this steelbook. It doesn't have, you know, that photoshopped image of Leonardo DiCaprio's face like some of the US releases have. So it's pretty cool. I like this steelbook. And then this is a newer one, pretty unknown one, but I love the artwork that they chose for this. It really makes you think of the old VHS store days. This is a movie made a few years ago by Justin Russell of Gamma Films, if I'm remembering right. And he's out of Ohio, and you know, it's one of those shot on video retro 80s slasher movies. I think it was made to be set in 1981, and you know, you could tell he likes his horror movies, his slasher movies from the 80s, and he knows what he's doing, and you know, it was pretty well done. The killer was cool, the gore was well done. I guess some criticisms might be that, you know, even though most people played the part very well, there were some actors you could tell they just didn't want to make the effort to look like they were from the 80s, didn't want to change their style or whatever. So I wish everybody that was on board was actually going to look the part of an 80s character, but yeah, it's still very well done. So this is cool. There's a red VHS in there. I didn't even open this just because I thought the packaging was so awesome. I watch a Blu-ray of it, a separate one that I actually watch. And yeah, it's got the DVD in there too. And I think there's like a flyer from the sorority that's in the movie. Really cool addition. I really like the sleeper. All right, so the next question is, rank your 5 favorite villains from horror movies. So again, no surprise, I absolutely love this series. I always have. I grew up with it. Jason Voorhees, I think, is the coolest villain of all horror movies. I love that hockey mask, that iconic hockey mask. Everybody knows when they see that what character it is. So Jason's definitely number 1. The next one, being from up north, I absolutely love this movie, My Bloody Valentine. So Harry Warden, I think that, you know, the Killer Miner, I think he is an awesome villain. And I liked the remake too, the My Bloody Valentine 3D remake movie from, I can't remember what it was, 2009 or something like that. But yeah, this Scream Factory edition is awesome, by the way. It's got all of the cut scenes put back in, and it looks way better than that Lionsgate Blu-ray looked. I mean, it's seamless to me. I can't even tell which are the cut in, spliced in new scenes. It looks perfect. I love it. All right, the next villain that I'm a big fan of would be Pinhead. This is a DVD copy, Anchor Bay. I absolutely love the old Anchor Bay DVDs. They were a Michigan company. I miss them. But anyway, yeah, this autographed DVD. He was at one of the conventions. Doug Bradley, the actor that plays Pinhead, at one of the nearby conventions that we have in my area, and got him to sign this DVD. And I absolutely love Hellraiser 1, but I think Hellraiser 2 is even better. It goes more into the backstory of Pinhead when he was like an army lieutenant back in the day, and just picked up the box and got into that and turned into what he became. And yeah, there's even a bit of redemption to him in the movie. So it's pretty cool. I like Pinhead as a villain. The other sequels, not so great. I didn't like 3 much, and the space one wasn't that bad. But anyway, 1 and 2 are the way to go. And of course, Leatherface is a great horror villain. Everybody loves him. I love the first one. Part 2 is really underrated. It's entertaining, the black comedy. And even Part 3, Leatherface, that was a pretty good movie too. That was pretty solid. I always liked that one. So you got to have Leatherface in the mix for the top horror villains. And then this is, I think, one of my favorite horror movies of all time, Black Christmas. And I just love that villain of Billy, this guy right here. I mean, we're never told his backstory. We don't really know his motivation, if you're really to believe any of his ramblings and the phone calls that he makes and all of that. You don't really get a total good look at him. So just the unknown and the mysteriousness of it, I think he's an awesome horror villain. Love this movie. All right, so the next question is, name a movie that I didn't like upon first viewing, but after a couple viewings, it's grown on me to the point where it's one of my favorites. And for that, I definitely have to pick Prince of Darkness, John Carpenter's Prince of Darkness. I didn't get this movie when I was younger and I watched it. I guess I wanted, his Halloween, Michael Myers type of stuff, and this definitely isn't that. It's about a bunch of college students that go to this burned out church because it's got some vat of green liquid that apparently contains the Antichrist. That sounds horrible as a movie, but it's actually very good. It's really interesting. It's very eerie and scary and creepy in parts, and their philosophical talk, their theological talk, the metaphysical stuff. It's a movie that makes you think when you watch it, and I just like it more and more every time I watch it. And that's the DVD. I always like that artwork, but when I watch it, I watch the Scream Factory Blu-ray, and that kind of tells you a little bit more about the movie than that other artwork does. Donald Pleasance as the priest, and there's the vat of goo in the old church. Great movie. Now I love it. All right, and then the last question was, name 3 sleeper movies that I recommend to watch. Right, so I guess it would be kind of a obvious one that you should watch The Sleeper. I thought that was a very good, very well made, well done retro 80s type of movie. But since I already mentioned that in a different question, I don't think that really counts. So this won't be a big surprise. I think Charlie Varick is an awesome movie. That's why I use that username. I think it's a great movie from the 70s. It stars Walter Matthau. It's like an action movie, a heist movie, a suspense movie. And you wouldn't expect Walter Matthau to be that type of character, but he does it well. And it's not just him. I mean, he's great in it, but everybody in this movie is very intelligent. They do smart things. They don't do stupid things. And it's a little different when you have every character as a clever, smart, intelligent character that knows the score. They're wise to what's going on. I like this great heist movie. It's got John Vernon, who was the dean in Animal House. It's got Joe Don Baker, who's just awesome as this hitman. So, it's also got Andrew Robinson, who was the dad in the Hellraiser movies. He's probably the only one that isn't that bright out of all of the characters. I guess he's the stupidest one. But, everybody else, very sharp character, very excellent dialogue, very clever dialogue. I highly recommend this one. A lot of people haven't seen it. And then this one came out, I think, earlier this year, and I was really surprised by this. I couldn't believe how good this movie was. It reminded me a lot of Assault on Precinct 13, and instead of like the normal gang guys, it was a bunch of hopped up on some weird new hallucinogenic drug gang members and breaking into this VFW and after somebody who happened to go into the bar, and these old timers here are protecting that person. So it's got Stephen Lang, who was in that movie from a couple of years ago, Don't Breathe, where he played that blind guy that was tormenting the kids that were in his house. And it's got Martin Kove, who was in Karate Kid, and now he's in Cobra Kai, which is an awesome series. And you got Fred Williamson, you got William Sadler. So yeah, this was a really good movie. I recommend this. I don't know if a lot of people have seen it, but it's pretty awesome. And then I think, just because it's getting toward that season, this isn't a horror movie or anything like that, but it actually takes place during the holidays, during Christmas time, and stars John Cusack and Billy Bob Thornton and Connie Nielsen. And it's like a really great black comedy, a dark comedy. I mean, there's murder, there's death, but there's also witty dialogue, and also a young Connie Nielsen. I could watch her do a crossword puzzle. I mean, she's beautiful in this movie. And Cusack, you know, all of his politics and stuff aside, I mean, he's a pretty awesome actor, and I liked a lot of his movies. Grosse Pointe Blank is one of my favorite movies, and yeah, Billy Bob Thornton, there's very witty, funny dialogue in this movie. It's highly recommended. So around Christmas time, I would recommend you watch that one. All right, so I've gone through them all. Hope you enjoyed the video. Went a little long, 15, 16 minutes. Sorry about that, but anyway, there's my submission. Thank you.